This 2020 offseason may be the biggest quarterback carousel the NFL has seen in recent years. You're going to see a lot of quarterbacks being let go. You're going to see a lot of quarterbacks signing with new teams as free agents. You're going to see a lot of quarterbacks being traded, drafted, all of the above. We're going to see a lot of situations as far as the quarterback situation goes. So here's my attempt to fix every single quarterback situation that all the NFL teams have. Let's get right into it. So first off, I want to start off with the easy ones. Let's start off with the Dallas Cowboys. I don't think Dak Prescott goes anywhere. I don't think he'll be put in a much better situation. I think he knows that. I think his agent knows that. And he may get more money somewhere, but I don't think he's going to win somewhere. And I think Dak Prescott wants to win. I know he wants his money. I know a lot of people want their money, but his situation is too good to pass up to really force himself to go elsewhere like Tampa Bay or maybe the Indianapolis Colts. He can win there, but I don't think Indianapolis really puts that money. They're a drafting organization. I don't think they'll take Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott, I think he stays with the Dallas Cowboys, whether that's for $40 million, $35 million, however much he's re-signed for. I think that's where he stays. Next up, the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints, whether they keep Drew Brees or not, well, Drew Brees, whether he retires or not, just for the sake of the situation, let's say Drew Brees does retire, I'm going to have Teddy Bridgewater being the next quarterback. I know you're seeing a lot of smoke screens, I guess you want to call it smoke screens, saying that Taysom Hill is going to be the next franchise quarterback. I think that's a bunch of baloney. I don't think you let Teddy Bridgewater go when he went 5-0 this season as a backup quarterback in relief of Drew Brees, and he's a proven starter with the Minnesota Vikings and has played with the Jets. But I mean, this guy can be the next franchise quarterback of the New Orleans Saints, not Taysom Hill, not the gadget player. And there's a lot of people saying that because both are going to be free agents. There's a lot of people are saying that you can't keep both of these guys. I don't know how that's possible. I don't know who made that up. But the whole media is saying you can't keep Teddy Bridgewater and Taysom Hill. They have to go somewhere. There's not a team in the 32 teams in the NFL that's going to be taking Taysom Hill as a quarterback and paying him as a quarterback. That is not happening in the NFL. And then Teddy Bridgewater, why would the New Orleans Saints make Taysom Hill their franchise quarterback and not Teddy Bridgewater? That's just ridiculous. So moving on from that, I have Teddy Bridgewater being the next franchise quarterback. We then move on to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, I know a lot of people may want a situation for the Jacksonville Jaguars, but I think the Jaguars are stuck in this situation, being that with Nick Foles having a $22 million being a $22 million quarterback, you can't really get another quarterback in there and bench Nick Foles for $22 million. And if you trade, if you cut or release Nick Foles, he demands $33 million in dead cap. That is not a good situation to be in. And who are you going to bring in as the next quarterback that's going to be worth that dead cap and their contract put together, that next quarterback's contract put together? Not worth it whatsoever. The Jaguars are stuck in their situation. That's not happening. Nothing's happening there. The Detroit Lions, let's move on to them. Who thinks this is the biggest smokescreen in NFL history? Who really thinks Matt Stafford is going to be traded? Are you out of your mind? Matt Stafford demands $32 million in dead cap this year. There's no way in hell Matt Stafford is going to be traded. You think the Detroit Lions are going to trade Matt Stafford with $32 million in dead cap and draft Tua Tagovailoa and be their immediate starter and just act like nothing has happened and he's the best quarterback to ever live and he's way better than Matt Stafford off the bat? No, there's no way that's happening. There's no way that's happening whatsoever. Matt Stafford is staying with Detroit. And that's all I'm going to say. Let's talk about the New England Patriots as well. Tom Brady is staying in New England. I think Tom Brady would want to go to another team that is ready to win a Super Bowl right away. I think the most intriguing is the Indianapolis Colts. I don't think he goes to the Chargers. I don't think he goes to the Dallas Cowboys. There are a lot of other teams that have some, links to Tom Brady, but I think his best situation is with the New England Patriots. I don't think he wants to prove himself anywhere else as much as a lot of people says he does. I think he's staying in New England. I think that's where his home is. He's not moving from that situation. Now we're going to get a little bit of interesting, guys. So if you guys can try to follow along, do the best you can. So the Cincinnati Bengals are going to draft Joe Burrow. Now, Joe Burrow will be the #1 overall pick in the 2020 NFL Draft. Where does that leave Andy Dalton? Well, Andy Dalton is going to be joining Mitch Trubisky and the Chicago Bears in Chicago, as Andy Dalton is going to be backing up or maybe even competing for a starting job with Mitch Trubisky. There's going to be a little bit of quarterback competition. I don't care who wins it. I'm just here to fix the problem, okay? I'm here to kind of give you guys who's going to go where, and I don't know how it's going to play out, but I think Andy Dalton's going to go with the Chicago Bears to have a quarterback competition with Mitch Trubisky. It's going to be a terrible quarterback competition, but a quarterback competition nonetheless. They said that Mitch Trubisky will remain their quarterback in 2020. Doesn't mean it's going to be their starting quarterback. So they could sign Andy Dalton and try to have a quarterback competition there. We're going to move on to the Carolina Panthers. Now, the Carolina Panthers are going to keep Cam Newton. I know it's very intriguing to cut Cam Newton with that just $2 million in dead cap. I know it's intriguing, but I don't think there's much guys you're going to land. Like I said, Teddy Bridgewater is probably the best guy, best free agent that you could probably grab up. Besides Tom Brady. Tom Brady's not going to Carolina. Phillip Rivers, why would you want Phillip Rivers? Bridgewater is the best intriguing option there besides Cam Newton, and Bridgewater, in my opinion, is going to stay in with New Orleans. So that being said, you had no choice but to keep Cam Newton and see what you have in Kyle Allen or Will Grier, or draft a quarterback. You're pretty much going to have to do that, but I have them signing Marcus Mariota, the free agent out of the Tennessee Titans. I think he's going to be shooed away from Tennessee. I don't think he's going to come back to Tennessee. They're not going to re-sign him, and so we go back to Tennessee. Now, Tennessee is going to keep Ryan Tannehill, get rid of Marcus Mariota, and draft Jake Fromm, the quarterback out of Georgia. We then move on to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers letting Jameis Winston walk, and we'll get to Jameis Winston in just a second. We'll have Jameis Winston walking and Phillip Rivers signing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I know a lot of people are saying, the Colts, he needs to go to the Colts. I will explain why he will not go to the Colts in just a second. But I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers getting Phillip Rivers as they're going from one gunslinging quarterback to another. I think it's probably the move that makes the most sense because their offense is going to be, their offense is very gunslinger-like, right? They're not a running offense. They're not a conservative offense. They're a deep bomb offense. They're an offense that really runs through that, wide receiver duo like Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Very similar situation that Phillip Rivers had with Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. So I think it's a plug-and-play type of situation. I think Bruce Arians makes that move for Phillip Rivers and then probably drafts a quarterback. I don't know which quarterback they would draft that would fit their offense. Maybe a Jordan Love, but I don't have him going there. So that being said, Tampa Bay takes Phillip Rivers and tries to make something out of it. I think they could still be a playoff team with Phillip Rivers. So we're going to move on to the, Las Vegas Raiders. I have to get used to saying Las Vegas. I'm going to keep saying Oakland for a long time, but the Las Vegas Raiders, I'm going to have them signing Jameis Winston, the 30 for 30 quarterback, because I love calling him that. 30 for 30 quarterback. Jameis Winston is going to be going to Las Vegas. Now, it's not the big name you guys want. And if I'm John Gruden, if I'm the Oakland's organization, I'm not getting rid of Derek Carr. Derek Carr is a much better quarterback than a lot of these guys. I would take Derek Carr over a lot of these quarterbacks in the league. Derek Carr has gone through 5 offensive system in the span of 6 years. This is probably the first year Derek Carr had the same offensive system in 2 consecutive years under John Gruden. Okay, he's always gone through a new offensive system. So Derek Carr never really got his feet wet and got comfortable with the offensive system. Now, Derek Carr, I have in a situation being traded. John Gruden, if there's any coach in the NFL that has the confidence, not necessarily has the ability to get it out of Jameis Winston, but has the confidence to work with Jameis Winston, it's going to be John Gruden. John Gruden is the project quarterback kind of master, right? This guy had on his roster at one point in time had A.J. McCarron. I believe A.J. McCarron was a Raider. Correct me if I'm wrong. But Mike Glennon for sure. Nathan Peterman for sure. Deshaun Kaiser for sure. I think they're still on the roster right now. This guy loves project quarterbacks. This guy loves, trying to work and develop quarterbacks. I think Jameis Winston's the perfect candidate for him. I think he loved Jameis Winston out of, from 2015. He loved Winston. So, especially if you watch that Gruden camp, he loved Winston. So I think he takes Winston and trades Derek Carr. I think he wants more of a gunslinger type guy anyway. I think he wants a high-powered offense from the quarterback more so than the running back. So we then move on to the Los Angeles Chargers, and we move on to the Los Angeles Chargers because I have the Raiders. Trading Derek Carr to the Los Angeles Chargers, and Los Angeles is going to be getting a really good refreshment as far as the quarterback position goes, being that they're going from Phillip Rivers, who is a gunslinger, to Derek Carr, who is a conservative type of system quarterback. That's a very good one. It's not an insult whatsoever, but I think it's a breath of fresh air for Los Angeles. They don't have to worry about pick sixes every week and interceptions. Derek Carr is extremely accurate and extremely conservative, really good decision maker, and really just a good quarterback, a great quarterback. And I have them drafting Justin Herbert. Why is that? I think Derek Carr, if he does not work out, Justin Herbert is a good quarterback to develop under Derek Carr. Derek Carr, like I said, is very conservative. Justin Herbert has a problem with decision making. That's probably one of his biggest knocks. He is not ready to start yet in the NFL. Has a problem with a little bit of problem of accuracy, but has a lot of good fundamentals as well. So I have Justin Herbert being drafted by Los Angeles, the Chargers, and developing under Derek Carr. If Derek Carr does not work out, Justin Herbert will eventually be the starter. We then move on to the Miami Dolphins. I have the Miami Dolphins drafting Tua Tagovailoa out of Alabama. The Miami Dolphins need a star quarterback. They can't get a developing quarterback. They need a spark of life. They have no life. I know they went 5-11. They picked it up towards the end of the season, but they have no life on that team. They need something to be hopeful for. The fans need something to be hopeful for. Tua is one of the best Alabama quarterbacks the world has ever seen. So, that being said, I know it's a little bit of adjusting getting a left-handed quarterback in there. You have to adjust your rollouts and your play side and backside, things like that. But Tua Tagovailoa is the best option for them, and I think they draft Tua out of Alabama. Miami will have, I guess, their franchise quarterback. And then we move on. I think this is the last of them. So, this is the last of them. This is the Indianapolis Colts. Now, I'll tell you why the Indianapolis Colts will not get Phillip Rivers. And they will keep Jacoby Brissett. See, the Indianapolis Colts are one of the most conservative franchises. They're one of the most best with their money as far as managing their money. They're one of the best at that consistently every year. They had $80 million, $70 million, $60 million, $90 million maybe. I think last year they had 90. They consistently have a lot of money and cap. Why is that? Because they don't get free agents. They draft all their players, and they draft well. They keep all of their drafted players, and so that's what they pretty much do. They don't really get free agents. I know they want to win a championship, but I don't think they're going to sign Phillip Rivers and try to win a championship. I think they're going to keep Jacoby Brissett, because the guy is due to make $15 million next year. And I think with a team that manages their money as well as the Indianapolis Colts do, I don't think it's very Colts-like or Colts-esque to have Jacoby Brissett be the backup quarterback making $15 million and having a $4 million quarterback in Phillip Rivers being the starter. I don't think the Colts are going to do that. That's the same reason why I don't think Tom Brady is going to be with the Indianapolis Colts, but Brady is going to want a huge contract. I don't think the Colts are going to do that whatsoever. I think they keep Jacoby Brissett and they draft Jordan Love. Now, also, if you cut or trade Jacoby Brissett, that's $12 million in dead cap. Like I said, I know they have the money to do that. I just don't think they're just that irresponsible to do that. I think they're going to keep Jacoby Brissett and draft Jordan Love, the project quarterback out of Utah State. This guy's a very good project quarterback. This guy should be ready to start soon. Has a problem with decision making. 17 interceptions on 20 touchdowns. Needs to get a lot better. But a lot of good potential there in Jordan Love. So that being said, that is fixing every NFL team's quarterback situation. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know what kind of quarterback carousel you guys have going on in you guys' head. Put it in the comment section below. That being said, leave a like if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you guys are new. I'll see you guys in the next video.